Good morning, guys. Chris, SBT Garage. Today's day 2, video 2 of Joe's lowest mile, cheapest Mystic Cobra on the planet. Ryan and Joe are right now currently working on the car on the other side of this camera, so we're going to flip this around and kind of catch them in action doing some work on this car. As you guys can see, Ryan is kind of invested in right now working on the clip for the
injector harness was chewed by rodents, so 2 of the injectors were completely chewed through. So we stripped the harness down and soldered in some new injector plugs, and we're just wrapping that back up now, getting that all ready to go.
And from what we understand, kind of what you guys were seeing prior to diving into this, would it be safe to say that was probably the biggest issue with the car?
Yeah, I think so. Just that and being dirty.
Right, but
I looked at the rest of this harness and I didn't see anything else chewed up, so it looks like it's in pretty good shape otherwise.
But in order for this car to get to my house and move it around, you know, safely, I totally agree with them getting this car running like it should. Get the harness fixed. We got a bunch of parts off the motor taken off, and we're gonna go over that. Joe decided to pull this motor apart by himself, and
I did not know you were coming.
And so we're just gonna we missed that whole saga of the car, unfortunately, but we're gonna go ahead and walk around this thing and show you guys what he did, because he did do a lot. I'll give him that. This was pretty much the Lone Ranger Joe here. Got the whole top of the motor tore off. That valve cover's off. This one's loose. You guys know the driver's side sucks, so the man has helped me before in the past with taking off valve covers. It's easier just to jack the side of the motor up, freeze the valve cover from that the brake booster over there and all that, and it can come right out. So supercharger's off. We'll go take a peek at that. Everything radiator up here is pretty much out of the way except for the radiator. Hoses are all disconnected, and he was diving in a little more. What are you working on up here, Joe, on the front end?
Basically putting an iBox Pro kit on it, new power stop pads and rotors, getting everything cleaned up. The back is already done. It's got the iBox spring, new rotors, new calipers. Pretty much just getting it ready to go.
So
I was excited, so I set the wheel on it to see how it fits.
That's an AFS 18.
So he did pick up, again, this probably falls in line, Ryan, with the cheapest Mystichrome Cobra. These are probably the cheapest AFS wheels ever. I don't know how he found them kind of local too, right?
Yeah, it was a situation where the guy had them on his car, and then I guess he went to a drag pack on it, and they had been sitting in the garage for a couple years, and they went back and forth, and the guy told Joe, "I need them out of the garage, so you bring me $300 and they're yours."
$300 for a set of 18.
Again, I wish I had a quarter of the luck he had finding shit.
This whole car has just been turned into a luck fest.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what the hell? I would love to have a set of these just laying around the house, and he basically found them for peanuts. So again, this kind of falls into the cheapest Mystichrome car on the planet. Now we have these cheap AFS wheels that are going to look fantastic. But you are keeping the brakes. You're going to stay Cobra on these brakes, right? You're not changing them out?
Not with this car.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Like Ryan and I were saying, like, kind of restore it, right?
Absolutely.
Like let's restore the car. Now that we got some sunlight out here, you guys can see, hopefully here in a couple days, this will be at my house, and we can get just all this cleaned up back to what it should look like. Come in here, condition the seats, condition the leather, do some shampooing if we need to. Door panels, this is pretty routine, easy to clean as well. 8,500 miles. This will look very nice when we get to that part of the car. And judging by how fast these two are working on the rest of this thing, that should be pretty quickly, because Ryan is, like I said, he does very well with the electrical stuff.
He does very well with everything. You've seen his car?
Yes, his car is absolutely stunning.
I was gonna drive it today, but there's a little bit of rain.
I was gonna drive my car as well, but we have some rain coming.
So both of these injector clips are new. These were both, one was completely gone, and the other one was chewed halfway through. This thing sat for, what was it?
At least 4 or 5 years.
5 years.
Well, with the mileage, it pretty much sat for 20 years.
Yeah, but as far as like actually not driving.
Yeah, and actually not driving and moving.
3 to 4 years for sure.
It's hard to see though, but the valve covers are shot.
Where is the other valve cover at?
Right there.
Oh, it's right here.
Yeah.
So, same thing which happened on my car, the Mineral. So, I feel like if you let these valve covers just sit or get weather to them, they just pit.
They're aluminum, so they're pretty susceptible to it.
Yeah, so these are getting dropped off when? This week?
Tuesday I'm taking them.
So the valve covers are getting dropped off on Tuesday, and a couple more parts maybe?
Yeah, the lower intake, even though you don't see much of it, the lower intake, the pulley bridge,
So
valve covers.
there's some pieces over here that need to be cleaned up. I think was the elbow on the supercharger kind of that.
I actually ended
Was
up
it pitted or no?
very slightly, but
Yep.
I ended up getting this one. Some guy had a pretty much almost
Oh, that thing's beautiful. Yeah, where'd you get this at?
marketplace, $40, local, 5 minutes from work.
That's easy enough because this is the one that came
That's
off,
the
right?
factory one.
Yeah, so you can kind of see the same thing. Mine on the Mineral car did the same thing. That it just pits. So this thing's beautiful. He lucked out on that too. Oh, I forgot to show you guys too in the video when we got the car, or Joe got the car here. He's got a Lightning tailgate in his garage as a working bench. So again, Lightning Joe comes through with more Lightning stuff. It's kind of cool how he set this up, and it's being used right now. But got all the parts off. These things are gonna get cleaned up. We're gonna do some work on the tanks. Got the lower intake here. The intercooler's still on there. I'm not sure if we're gonna do anything with that or not. But again, he kind of just went ham on this thing and started pulling it
Hey, come
apart.
up here real quick. I want to show you something, a little bit of knowledge that I learned last night from my buddy Tyler. I think his username on Instagram is comp281. He's like the go-to for these cars. He's an enthusiast like us times 10. He's talked to Coletti or people that know Coletti, and he's just very knowledgeable. So last night I sent him a picture of these stickers here on this valve cover, just out of curiosity. And when he saw them, he said, wow, he goes, you need to keep those, preserve those, because they're super rare. Nobody's replicated those, and the printer, he actually sent me a picture of the printer that printed them back in 2003, 2004. And he said, if you clean those with anything, any kind of solvent, it'll strip that off.
Really?
So he said, if you're going to try to keep that original, you don't want to, you just wipe it down with a dry rag. But anyway, so I asked him, I said, what do the numbers mean? 38 meant 03, 39 meant 04, and then the number, the letters over there tell you that it's a 9-thread head. So he talked to people on the assembly line and kind of got some knowledge on that.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that either.
There's a little bit of discrepancy on what each individual letter actually means, but that indicates that it is a 9-thread head.
The markings on those letters.
Yep, the markings on those letters.
That's cool.
On the early production 04s, I guess, if you caught it at the right light, you could see the actual date the car was built etched in there on the sticker. We don't have it on here. And he also told me that 80% of the Mysticchromes were built in December. So,
oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that was another cool
That's pretty cool.
fact. Like I said, his name's Tyler. He's got more knowledge.
What is his what's his Instagram handle
I
on
think
this?
it's comp281.
Okay.
Right now he's got a mineral gray car, that super rare car, early build. That was a special build. Go to his page and you can check out all that
Wait,
stuff.
he's the one you were telling me about. It's a show or something?
Yeah, it was the pony package.
The
car.
pony package. So,
Yep.
real quick, just dive into that. That's an actually interesting.
I guess there's only 4 of them that are known so far. One of them is the yellow convertible on Iron Fist lead foot on the cover.
Yep.
Basically, it was a package where you could go down the line with the car, as far as I understand, and there was extra clear coat on the fenders. The body panels were aligned a little bit better than just a regular car. And I think there's a Sonic Blue one, the Mineral Gray one, a yellow one, I think a white one are the 4 that we know about so far. The only way to tell is on the buck tag behind the headlight. It'll say show on there, stamped into the buck tag on the top right corner. And that means it had the pony package, and it was reserved for special people. The car that he had was specially built for a guy that had terminal cancer, and so they did the pony package on that, and it got built. It got bumped to the front of the line for build, so the guy could actually enjoy the car.
Enjoy the car, yeah. I see. You learn something new about these cars every day.
I'm obsessed with these things.
I've been obsessed with these cars for 15 years now, and I had no idea that was a thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny what people know out there and what we find out every day. So
I was talking to Tyler last night till like 11 o'clock about stuff like that. I love that kind of stuff.
When you really think about our small little local group
community here,
yeah, like how many different rare packages we got. You got your mineral, low mileage stock. I have this. He of course has a satin. There were 2 satins technically.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine, Chad, had one.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to the car. Kind of lost.
That went out of state to.
It's in
Louisiana, something like that. Yeah.
Mississippi, somewhere.
A little north of Florida, but yeah, that car's out of the state. All right, guys, so we're pretty much just going to keep moving and wrenching on this. When we get to a spot where we think it's good to dive back in, we'll start filming that. But for now, like I said, he's at a point now where we're going to start taking these parts off, getting them ready to get out on Tuesday to the powder coater. And we're still kind of deciding on what Joe wants to do color-wise with these parts. My opinion, again, it's his car, he can do whatever he wants. It's hard to match these, that's the problem I'm having. So my recommendation is doing like a hyper silver to kind of make it look factory. But we are going through some different color choices here to see what we can come up with.
The concern that I had was with the pitting and the oxidation.
Right.
That a glossy, smooth color, you're going to see every pore like you put makeup on it. I'm almost was mentioning to Ryan about a wrinkle color.
Correct. Yeah, whether that's wrinkle, you can do a wrinkle silver or wrinkle black.
Another set of valve covers, depending what the powder coater says. Once they sandblast them, they can call and be like, "Hey, yay or nay." But
I would honestly, Ryan, maybe you might agree with this. Maybe we find a set of valve covers for the car just to preserve the stickers that are on it, because that's something that would absolutely get lost, right?
Yeah, and that's what Tyler said.
So
he said at least take those stickers off.
Yeah, but we got to do some testing and see if we can get them off without damaging them, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So, but all right, guys.
Like you said, we don't want to Joe the car up.
No.
Modify it too much.
And to our defense, Joe, you're sitting on a car right now that in the near future, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, this is just going to skyrocket in price. So you're sitting.
I'm leaving it stock. That means I'm well aware.
You're right, because this guy, like I said, you can kind of see that lightning right there with the giant hole in the fender. Then on the other side, the driver's side, on that kind of where I'm zooming in, that lower rocker panel, Joe put a hole in that for his exhaust, and those are hard to come by for the lightning. So the guy just does whatever.
A lot of setups.
It is what it is. But we're gonna get moving on this and kind of dive into a little more, and then we'll pick up where we just get to a spot where we can start filming again. So we're gonna get this thing moving, and we should be back here in just a minute. All right, so we all are diving back into the car, so I just kind of want to show you guys where we're at now. We got some extra help over there. Gary, say hi to Gary, everybody. He owns a Mach 1, doesn't own a Mach 1? Working on a Mach 1. So he hates it. We got Ryan under the car right now, doing some work. I'm in the process of taking off the front bumper. I got the pulley bridge out there cleaned up. We got that all degreased. These two are working on. What are you guys working on the car now?
I am taking out the struts and the factory plates. I'm going to get the camber plates put on.
So we're going to keep this rolling here. We figured while we're in here, Ryan's finding some stuff he'd like to address, so we're all just going to start working on that. One of them is removing the bumper, which I'm going to start doing, and getting behind all there cleaned up. So that when we get to that point, that portion of this is already done. You know, the one thing I love about these new wedges is taking out the headlights. It's the easiest headlight planet Earth to remove from the car. Ryan, what's it you're working on?
I'm trying to get the power steering pump out now, so I'm disconnecting the coolant hose to the oil cooler.
So many hands, hopefully resolving some problems. Do this. So these headlights never been on the car before.
Just trying to do this without getting blasted with coolant.
Keep your mouth closed.
Please don't fight. Thank you.
I do gotta say thank you to Joe. He literally gave me these headlights for my other car. And he's a great score, guys. Breathe. Look at these things. No, I'm just kidding. He wouldn't do that. He's cool. He's not that cool. Now I'm gonna put these headlights on the underneath the bench over here.
I'll do this. Got it?
Are we still recording?
This?
That fit. It's too small. Maybe it's 12. Alright, I gotta look at his.
Operate like this, dude.
What are you looking for?
Tools.
They're here. The main.
They're here, they're there. They're everywhere.
They're on this. They're on top of that.
The main. Here, I'll clean up the tool.
Yeah, I need a 12.
12 wrench.
Yeah, give me a wrench.
Right here. I was using it yesterday. Everything that was currently used is right here.
I don't know. This is too short.
Here. I'm gonna put these all away real quick. And Gary's getting upset.
Is it 12, Chris?
Nope.
Bigger than that?
70/16.
Oh, you can see it right in here.
Here. Put all the tools away. Here. Let me get in here, please. Alright. Put it on here.
You sure it's not a 10, dude?
I'm gonna check right
I'm gonna
now.
put the
I think it's a
15
10.
back. I'm gonna put the 7/16 back. 15. This is a 10.
No, it's not.
It's not. 11.
16.
Okay, can I get 11?
You think with the amount of times we've taken these fucking...
I
you need a deep, bro.
Do you need a deep? Oh. Here, give me a deep.
You think with the amount of times we've taken these fucking things apart, we would know.
I've had
I had the front bumper
half a
off
dozen.
online.
I was thinking of, these bumpers up half a dozen times, but I don't remember every
12.
time I've. Yeah, it's 11.
10.
So you guys are aware inside bolts on the fenders?
11.
11.
How about an 8, Joe? You have an 8.
An 8 wrench?
No, socket.
Yeah. You need it in here?
Yeah, over here.
So what we decided to do was start ripping off the front of the car. Ryan took off the little radiator hose. There's a lot in here that we decided to kind of get to because of the amount of parts that are coming off. It'd just be easier to clean while we're in here instead of trying to work around with everything once we get it put back. So that's kind of what we're working on now.
I got coolant all over me, which is my absolute favorite.
Which stinks. This garage smells now. The outside of the car now smells like the inside of the car. And we kind of found a surprise on the This car has a nice little grill on it.
Got some kind of
blue
mesh wire grill.
Like a chicken wire grill on it, which I didn't see it the other day when we were at the car either, so yeah, we want to grab the bumper off and get all that taken off too. So.
I need it. There's battery tray.
I'm putting all your tools away.
The fucking
Yeah, I got my pressure washer here. But I wish you left the motor together. You know, Joe, if you left the motor together, I could have taken my pressure washer and helped that out a little bit.
You can mask it off. You're a professional.
I am not taking that chance.
I authorize you to take whatever chance you feel
I
necessary.
gotta get this side loose.
I know. I'm just trying to see if I can see anything else that I missed. I don't think I did. You said you got the fog lights?
Yeah. I think I did.
Oh, that's right. There's these push pins on the bar. These are 8s on the bottom. You got 8 on this?
Yeah. Bro, this battery bolt's so rusted. I can't even
That bag.
The battery bolt's so rusted I can't even get it off.
Really?
Yeah.
Alright, so this is garbage.
We might have to pull the seats, Chris.
Really?
The fronts and then steam clean the fucking.
This is actually a 6 or a 7. Tiny. Joe, can I get a 6 or a 7?
Socket?
Yeah. It doesn't have to be deep.
I have a 6 and a 7.
I'll take a little.
Bro,
I need the adapter.
the rust.
Yeah, give me the
Small.
We gotta get this off.
We'll get it off. What we did find though, the hole under the car's coated, right?
Yeah.
So, not that we really need that in Florida, but
It's nice.
it's nice that it's done.
Yeah. I gotta get this one battery bolt straight. Battery bolt off.
I still got the guy sending me the that battery front cover for the
Yeah.
What's it called?
Battery blanket.
The battery one, yeah. So that should be here hopefully any day now.
That's nice.
Yeah, man, he found a factory bolt to the radiator that he changed out, so I got all those back. And I actually kept the radiator that he took out of the car too.
Yeah.
I wanted all that.
Yeah.
That's holding in the lip. What am I taking out?
You should have.
No, yeah. No, that's just holding the lip on. What am I doing? You gotta head this up here. I think after that was free.
Yeah, I took the push pins out already.
This is a pretty color. I mean, I had a same exact car back in, I don't know, 2016, 15. Had 12,000 miles on it, convertible, and I regret selling it. I wish I kept that car.
You had that at the same time you had the red fire?
Yeah. Yeah.
You had that a very short time.
I had it for 6 months, maybe 7.
That didn't stay long.
No, and I wish I kept it. This is a very. I think that the pictures don't do these colors justice the way it looks in person. It's awesome. As far as I know, it's good, man. All right, so what we're doing here, we're just gonna finish up this front bumper. We'll just kind of pause the video so you guys gotta watch all this boring stuff, get this off. And again, I want to kind of show you what the guy added to this bumper, which is kind of. It's funny, but it's not. Probably should have just kept filming because this was less than 30 seconds later we got it off. Bumper looks fantastic. There's no damage to this thing at all. It's going to clean up extremely nice. This up here is dirty, so we're going to go ahead and take care of that today. But what I want to show you guys was what we thought was funny is it's got this chicken wire. Luckily, it wasn't screwed into the bumper. It was held on with duct tape. So, kind of funny, the stuff that you see on these cars, right? This is on the opening here on the fog light, and it's got like, again, like it's like a blue chicken wire. You can't make this up. So we're going to go ahead and take this bumper outside and we'll get it all cleaned up and ready for when we put it back on so that all this stuff is off of there. But let's flip this around carefully here. It's in really good shape. So these.
Oh, you took my chicken wire out.
I can put it back on if you want.
No, I'm alright.
You know what, Ryan? We'll just reinstall it.
Yeah. No, well, if you're gonna put it on, use electrical tape, not duct tape.
Well,
or use like
Joe's garage.
Joe's garage right here.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Again, it's kind of hard to see with the lighting in here, but I love how this bumper is just popping in the light. It looks so good, and it's good.
What?
Wow.
It shows that we're working.
This guy he's just, there's Joe over there doing Joe stuff. Anyways,
It shows.
we're going to get this outside, get that thing cleaned up so it's ready to go back on the car.
I just told you who's recording.
I forgot.
And then I want to just test hit one of these wheels. I got some acid with me today, some wheel acid. So we're going to test hit one of the wheels. I do want to take them home and see what I can do with them. So hopefully these factory wheels come out nice, because these would be nice to save as well. So, all right, guys, we're going to keep moving forward here. All right, I kind of stepped away from inside the garage. I wanted to get this thing out here in the sunlight. You can just see again, this thing is just, it's dirty. It's all caked up, but and it's got some, you know, some wear on here. Kind of zoom in and see that a little bit. This, I'm 99% sure I'll get that out. That's not a big deal. But just want to come in here and get this thing completely cleaned up for Joe. Guys, it's just, the Mystic is such a pretty color. They should have made more of them. I mean, this thing is just, it's beautiful. But we're going to go ahead and get this cleaned up for him inside and out, so that when we put this thing back on here, we don't have all this. Like, this is just, it's all caked up, which is crazy. It's just from sitting. So we'll go ahead and take care of this for him, and we'll keep moving forward.
Dude, this car, I think this car is going to come out really good.
Yeah, so I brought Joe out here to check out the bumper because I want to show you guys too what's going on. This is, just real quick, this is before. You guys see how, again, just how dirty, and just, this is just, it needs a good bath. And just giving it a quick wash, like, this is after. Came in here, mild detergents, nothing crazy, just kind of more like elbow grease and thyme, and just got in between everything, cleaned all underneath it. I stopped right here, so basically over here and here needs to be done. But Joe, what do you think?
I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah. So
It's nice seeing the color getting to shine out in the sun
Yeah.
a little bit, not caked in dirt.
So we're gonna keep moving forward, and then we'll finish this bumper up. He's being called off. So again, I don't know, this thing's turning out really good. I think he's gonna get lucky on this paint. It looks, for being outside in the Florida sun, it held up very well. I'm just glad the guy covered it and didn't leave it exposed. So I'm gonna keep moving forward. I'm gonna hit this half now, hit the backside, and just kind of get the full before and after of what this what the front bumper is. And then we're gonna go inside, and while they're working in there, I'm gonna hit some more stuff inside the engine bay, because they're starting to pull out some parts. So we're just gonna keep moving forward. All right, couple minutes, fast forward here. Got the entire bumper just cleaned up. It looks good, right?
Yeah.
There's just that color just pops. So jealous. But look at the yellow. Cool color. But this thing here is just a whole different level. Oop, almost fell in a hole. That looks really good. Cleaned up really well. Inside is... Hey, you want to lay that flat for me real quick? I don't want to... Here, do it together. You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Same thing. You guys saw the inside before, and it turned out really nice. This black you see in here, the whole underneath of the car is it's got a coating on it. It was a northern car. I think it started in Detroit, ended up in Chicago, and then when that guy bought in Chicago, he eventually moved to Florida, and then here the car's been for, I don't know, 15 years. So we got this thing all cleaned up, ready to go. I'm going to move on to one of these wheels, but I'm going to go inside real quick and help with the valve cover, because that's giving them a little bit of a headache, so we'll all team up and get that done. What do you got going on with the valve cover?
I'm just having a hard time getting it off.
Which is weird, because it's not.
This is the way I took it off on my car, and it was
Yeah.
easy.
Where would you like this cut?
Same length.
So this is the driver's side valve cover. This is the one that sucks to get off. This one fought us a little bit. The way we did it, I don't know, you've done it before, right?
Yeah,
It's
the way I did it too.
It's the way I've done it at least twice on my cars. Take the jack here. You guys can see, we'll zoom in there. We just got a piece of 2x4 on the jack here, and we're just literally jacking it up a little bit on the motor mount in there, creating a little bit of space. And normally they just pull right out, but this did fight us a little bit, so it is out though. I'm gonna get that covered up, and then we're still figuring out what he wants to do color wise before we drop that off in like 2 days. So we've got some time, but the car is making some good headway today. Bumpers off, as you guys can see. We're gonna come in here and just start working on this a little bit now that we got all this out of the way. You know, it's kind of like a while you're in there moment. There's no sense of leaving it. So valve covers are off. We'll get this covered up. Did you guys get the what you were working on with the power steering pump?
No, not yet. That's
Okay,
nice.
so we're gonna finish that up.
Camber plates and struts are out.
Oh, you do got the camber plates out. Move your hand, Ryan. So camber plates are off. That's all dropped. Once he gets that power steering pump out of the way, we're gonna come in here and start spraying this and get this all cleaned up for him. So,
I'm gonna get another towel for that though.
all right.
I don't know how we're gonna get this out with the.
Ryan's down there working on the power steering pump. It's got the hose off, drained. What's it looking like?
It's tight. I don't know how it's gonna come out without taking the oil cooler off.
Is this your first time doing this?
Yeah.
All right.
I watched
Well-
a video on Danny Johnson's garage though, and he made it look easy. So
Danny Johnson Garage is a very
clutch.
informative YouTube channel. Shout out to Danny for helping us out, bro.
You're so dumb, John.
So we're gonna get this out. What are you doing?
He hit my phone, so I was trying to.
You're doing your Apple find.
I
Yeah.
put the phone away because he's supposed to be working,
I
not
was
on the
working.
phone.
I was working.
Are you recording?
Yeah.
Hey, I just want to give a shout out to Madison Avenue Pizza. You guys are about to deliver us a really nice pie here on Sunday.
How many?
How many what?
How many pies?
2? 1?
Definitely not one.
Ryan doesn't eat pizza. He eats broccoli
I have to eat something.
and grilled chicken.
Joe is doing what he does best: order us food. Getting us-
Like, what's the guy's name from Gone in 60 Seconds? Freb. Freb's great at ordering pizzas. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Classic movie.
This last one, you gotta take out
The oil cooler.
this bolt behind
I'm
this
not
line.
here.
Take that out last. That the pump,
Let's see what we got, because we can
the pump drops down as you take that bolt out.
throw a little knowledge in here too. Let's see if we can get the camera in there. We'll pause this real quick. All right, so Ryan's in here. He's working on the power steering pump, so we're gonna he's gonna walk you through what's going on.
So this guy, the previous owner, smoked this thing. He said the seals were leaking on it, but when we got down here, we found out that one of these hoses is just loose,
Super loose, so it was just pissing out
pissing out power steering
and they
fluid.
just kept adding to it and eventually just burnt out the pump.
Burn the pump up. So there's 4 bolts that hold it on. They're 10 millimeter, 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom. You take out the 3 that are exposed first, and then this last one behind this line you have to take out.
and as you take it out last, and as you're taking it out, the pump will lower down. If you try to take the bolt out, before you take the other ones out, it'll hit this line and it'll bend the line.
Yeah.
So that comes out last. You unbolt that, and then the pump lowers down supposedly. So we're gonna pause this for a minute and try to get this out.
All right, guys, we're gonna fast forward this to about 20 minutes. We're still working on this power steering pump. That Danny Johnson video did help a lot. Where we left off on that video, we were kind of getting snagged up on this power steering pump. As you saw, just
It's
the
out.
pulley pump is out, right?
Yep.
What he was finding in there that was holding that in was the alternator bracket, right? Mm-hmm. So kind of loosened up that bracket, and as you can see, that thing just literally fell out.
It's two 10mm bolts and 13mm.
So, and again, getting to that point though, you do have to take out that bolt last, like he was saying, so you don't bend that line or ruin it. And then again, just from there, loosen up that alternator bracket, because it was looking like maybe getting in there and doing the oil cooler, right?
Yeah,
which
it was either going to be just disassemble the oil cooler, which we really don't want to do.
Don't want to do that, yeah.
Or take that alternator bracket, the bottom alternator bracket.
But
off.
it's out again. This thing was whining and shot. So that's out. Does he have the new one here? Is that what that what just got delivered?
He's got the new one. Yep.
So let me adjust this camera. Stand by. So Joe went to pick up some lunch, but we found the box where he was hiding the new one. Is this
The reman.
It's a reman one. It's OEM though.
I believe so. No, maybe not.
Maybe not. What's it say over here? Yeah, maybe not.
It's remanufactured by Cardone.
Cardone?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
we'll get this thing thrown back in. That's what was causing the issue. And then when you're replacing this, you're filling it up with the car jacked up like this and following the direction of Danny Johnson there. With the car elevated like that, start putting fluid in, wheels back and forth left and right, but keeping the fluid in the reservoir at least above the hose here so that you're not sucking air in, and then you're going to have a different issue there. So I don't think really watching that thing go in is going to be a big deal. Just kind of reverse it. That bolt that you took out last,
It's like a year
what
ago.
is that? That bolt that you took out last is the first one to go in, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you're just kind of basically at that point reversing what you did. But again, removing that alternator bracket gave Ryan a little bit of extra clearance, which was snagging in that pump. But again, still making a lot of headway here on the car. The only thing that we saw, which we didn't really care too much for, kind of sucks, is on these wheels. I was out here cleaning this one and it was coming out nice. It was actually looking really good. And then this wheel, another thing we saw, these were labeled Cobra and had some other dates and stuff stamped on them, but this wheel is just trashed. So kind of sucks, because I think structurally that probably isn't worth saving or using. Maybe make a cool garage piece. So we were kind of thinking that, but coming in here on this wheel, this one here is the bowl is cleaning up nice. It's not peeling like that one is. So we're going to come in here and finish what we can. But it just sucks because we know at least one of these wheels isn't going to work. So we haven't got the other one. Ryan, do you know if that wheel was came off the front or the back? You don't know, right? That was a front wheel. Again, this car was housed in Chicago and Michigan.
yeah.
So more than likely hit some snow in its life and then spent 15 years under a car cover here in Florida. But again, the whole point of this, getting this car for, Joe grabbing this car is making this thing right and getting it back to what it should be. So that's the process that we are going on now. You think it's going to be a pain in the butt to get back in?
No.
Okay. Well, we're gonna again just pause this here, keep moving forward, and get this car not done for the day, probably another hour or two, and then we'll be at a good stopping point for later. Moving on this, keeping it going, and yada yada yada. So pause this here, get this pump thrown in, and keep moving. All right, we got the Ryan's got the power steering pump put in. Went in 10 times easier than coming out, especially after we moved the alternator bracket here. Joe's down there just kind of finishing button that up, and that's pretty much ready to go. What else you got going on?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna switch out the control arms.
No, I mean with what you're doing now.
Nope, just putting the main lines on them. Put on the return line real quick.
There was a little confusion on there because it came with what, a Teflon ring,
Teflon O-ring,
and then a rubber O-ring, and the directions are extremely useless and doesn't really tell you what goes where. So unfortunately, we just got this thing put on here. It's all buttoned up, and have to find out if it's going to leak or not leak once this thing is all completely buttoned up. So now that we've done it once, hopefully the second time, if it need be, it won't be so bad. But we're pretty much at a stopping point today. The car's got a lot of stuff done to it. Joe, like we said, has got the whole back suspension done on this. He's got the new Eibach. Which ones were they?
Eibach Pro.
The Eibach Pros in here, just to give it a little bit of a drop so it's not so factory looking. And then the AFSs are going on. And then we got a list of parts here that we're going to compile for him to box up and get that to the powder coating on Tuesday. Today's Sunday, so a couple days. And then we're getting this done as well, right?
Yeah.
That. I'm just going to go through these parts over here he's got as well. He's got all the gaskets in for the valve covers, the supercharger, just everything came in. The where is it at? The elbow stuff over here, everything is just pretty much in. The only thing he's going to do is get a new IAC, new gasket for that. But he's going out of town here for a couple of days, so he's got plenty of time for that to come in. And hopefully next video, this will all be back from powder, and we'll throw it on the car. So hopefully this will be done in driving the next time we touch it. So just want to say, guys, thanks for watching. This day's pretty much wrapping up. It's 2 o'clock. We've been here for about 5 hours or so working on this. And again, SVT Garage, and keep watching. We're going to post another one here probably a week or so. It's really just depending on the powder coat stuff getting done. And just keep this car moving and show you guys from start to finish what you guys can do with taking a car like this and just kind of restoring it and bringing it back to what we, are hoping it to be. But again, guys, thanks, SVT Garage.